I have a quick question about conversion action. So this is something that CallRail, they force you to use one conversion action for calls. They'll create two if you want to do first time and just all call, or first time and repeat calls separate. I'm pretty sure they do anyway. But is there a way in your system to create custom conversions? Because the reason why the use case would be being able to see unqualified and qualified calls. Why? Because you might want to know where you're getting a bunch of crap calls from, especially you look at maybe a franchise application where you've got different sales teams in each market, and you want to know which ones are dead wood, which ones are not closing a sale, because you can say, look, you got, instead of just sending the qualified calls, you want to know how many calls you got in general, right? So it's kind of being able to compare percentage of leads closed or qualified to actually getting revenue from them. So just kind of curious if you have, or it's come up where you could have custom conversion actions based on certain either triggers or criteria.
Because I'm trying to think how. You're almost going to make me do a live demo with you guys, but I didn't set it up.
We'll you can come back on and do a full demo.
A full demo, okay.
Yeah, we'll do it separate. And we'll do a next one on Zoom. Yeah. We're on Zoom, but we'll do another one where we do like the whole call will be all demo.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, yeah, I'll take up that opportunity definitely. But to answer, so there's many ways to do it. So in our dashboard, you can choose to see like unique or repeat visitors. That's one way. You can run our reports and you can choose to report by unique or repeat as well, or just everybody. So it's your choice if you want.
Is that a report or is that sending the data back to Google? I'm referring to sending the data back to Google.
So so where you're sending back to Google Ads?
As like a secondary conversion. So we had a We Buy Houses guy that we worked with for a while. Kept changing the types of conversions that we wanted. But what we found is that we want to see all the leads we get, but he wanted to count as qualified people who went through a certain process, right? And that was being fed back to CRM. But part of it was having, an all leads, to say an all leads conversion, a qualified, unqualified conversion. And in your case, because you're allowing people to do certain rules with the phone calls and basically scoring them or grading them, with CallRail, you have either first-time callers or you just get all the phone calls as one conversion action. But to my knowledge, you can't create another one based on a set of rules. So I'm just asking you, has that ever come up before where it's like, I'd love to just know how many calls fall in this category, sent to Google as this conversion action, which could be set up as a secondary conversion for like data purposes in Google Ads, not necessarily something that you're going to optimize or smart bid for. You might actually do the opposite of that. But it's easier to see your wood and your chaff in one place, not have to, I see qualified, but how many do we actually get raw calls? I have to go back into what converts to see that data where I could just see it in both places.
So you could set up a conversion called not quoted or something like that.
Exactly. You can see the difference because what I found is you want to see both. You want to see the total leads and how many of those leads were actually quotable or qualified. And it could be that the leads are bad, right? Right, Nick? Or it could be that the sales team sucks and they can't quote, but you're not going to know unless you know both those numbers, right?
So are you doing it for your data purposes, or do you want that data in Google Ads for automated bidding purposes?
Google Ads, because that's for optimizing from. When we're in there working on an account, the data is right in front of you. I can segment by device. I can segment by campaign, by ad group, by date range. If I do that in what converts and I go back to Google, it's a total nightmare. No offense. It's just any system. It's a total nightmare to do that.
Okay. So at the moment, how we work at What Converts is like, if you make a good use case, like we'll put it in the development timeline. But at the moment, you can choose the different triggers, which I mentioned, and then you can update that same conversion multiple times. So you can send it as a qualified lead, and then you can update again with the sales value. And then if you update the sales value again, it'll update that conversion again. So it's the same conversion updated multiple times. We don't send additional conversions each time because that gets a bit crazy. But, that's something we can look at. I know it's possible with Google Ads to do additional conversions. We don't have that built in at this time.
Well, I think what you're saying is, if I get this call and it's unqualified, that's a secondary conversion. It's not a conversion at all. This call is qualified.
Yeah, that's what we did manually. We did that using basically passing the data through offline conversion import through Zoho back into Google. But wouldn't it be great if you just do it based on the system that's supposedly tracking your calls, your forms, and everything else? You don't even need I mean, you still integrate the system with your CRM to know that information, but you don't have to worry about getting it back to Google another way, right?
This is so we are doing some development that's going to be all around, we're talking keyword spotting, like automation rules and things like that. So within that, I've got a feeling we're going to be able to allow you to do that.
Yeah, I just think the use case for it is valuable because you still, it's like, do I want to see all my leads or just the qualified? Well, you're still missing the other part of the equation if you only do one of them either way. So you might as well see both, right? That's kind of where I'm going.
Yeah, no, exactly. I was also thinking like, because some people send data through analytics and then into Google.
Yeah, that's a big nightmare right there because the attribution models are different. You got, last click that they look at, you look at the time of conversions different because they're looking at the day it happened versus the day the click happened. So I hate using Google Analytics or any importing of goals because you basically always lose data in the process. And if, God forbid, you have your domain set up not as a referral exclusion, or you're in e-commerce and you take, PayPal, and then you didn't add that as a referral exclusion, all those places are now all of a sudden generating revenue for you. It's just a whole nightmare. And when you start messing with Google Analytics, that's like a can of worms you just don't want to open up, in my opinion. Just let me use the pixel.
I'm just trying to think of creative ways to get around the current use case. But you're right. You don't want to plug in two sources of data and double count, and you don't know what's counting. I mean, it's like misattribution between Google Ads, and so you can imagine with Google Ads, if you get a lead, and what if they're a second visit that came through Google Ads? Do you send that conversion to Google Ads?
Yeah, so the pixel works. The pixel takes credit for any conversion that it fired for, just like Facebook does. Analytics is your kind of the guy that's like holding these two guys. Hold up. Let's see who really got this. But they have their own problems, right? So like I like to use Google Pixel knowing there going to be other touches happening. So what? Like usually you look at first click attribution if you want to know, did it start it or did it finish it? Ultimately, I think for a lot of the people we all work with on the non-e-commerce side, it's usually a pretty short sales, click to call window. It's not like they're going back for 3 days and then calling it. Maybe Nick's case it would be, I guess.
Well, what's nice with inside what converts and what you're saying, when you want to analyze data, like within, whether be here before, whether they repeat, whether they're qualified and they're non-qualified, like that entire customer journey, we showed really nicely inside what converts. So one of the use cases I love is, so I still have my agency and I've just got a handful of clients that I keep going and I sort of use what converts on them.